脑洞永远不够多，只怕真相太寂寞。大家好，我是大金，欢迎回到我的频道。在这里呢，我们就是一起来看片，那些在网络上面流传的一些奇异的、挑战我们认知的一些影片哦。那我们话不多说，赶快开始吧 ，Let's go! Alright.
I had AI make the prediction, and this is it. First one, by 2026, the public is told something non-human has interacted with humanity, but the real shock is that it's tied to ancient history, not outer space.
Like what, a virus?
No, like it's framed as interdimensional, pre-human, or an intelligence that co-developed with humanity. And they said how they're even shifting the language from alien to non-human intelligence. Second one, AI causes a psychological event, not just a scandal. So they're saying that there's a measurable mental health or social contagion event linked directly to AI interaction.
What does that mean?
So the government will respond by labeling it a public safety issue and not a tech issue.
Dude, it's already happening, and then people are gonna start like worshiping these things. So there's gonna be cults, like religious cults about
Yeah.
AI.
Are we gonna have our first AI marriage?
Number 3, a major geophysical or solar event occurs that modern science struggles to explain in real time. Number 4, there's a sudden communications blackout or satellite failure that affects multiple countries.
How creepy would that be if the ISS just like went black?
Dude, I don't think anyone would believe it was real.
This was a spooky thing that AI said at the end of it. Humanity is not entering a new age. It's re-entering an old one with better tech and worse memory. So there's just saying like, yeah, you guys aren't anything new.
Same script, different prompts.
哇，我在想，如果说问 ChatGPT 它的预言的话，它大概都是收集所有的资料制造出来，所以说猜想得到它为什么讲说我们一直在重复我们自己，因为我们就是在重复我们自己。
Eyes can now draw a digital line around your neighborhood and see the location of every phone inside it. As thousands of federal agents deployed to cities like Minneapolis, an exclusive report from 404 Media reveals the surveillance tool they're using to hunt people down. It's called Weblock. Here's how it works. An agent draws a shape on a digital map, a city block, a workplace, or a protest site. The system instantly pulls up the history of every mobile phone that's been inside that shape. It shows where you sleep, where you work, and who you spend time with. It creates a pattern of life analysis to predict your next move. They don't need a warrant. They don't need a subpoena. They just buy the data from apps installed on your phone right now. Yesterday, an ICE agent shot and killed a U.S. citizen in Minneapolis during an operation. Today, we know they have the technology to watch the entire city without leaving their desk.
所以说他们可以这样子画一圈，把这一圈里面人的手机全部抓出来，然后叫 AI 去查他们手机里面的就是社交媒体啊，各种东西他们的生活习惯，然后让 AI 这些大数据下去搜查，所以不到一点点时间，马上把你这个人了若指掌，逃不出他们的手掌心的那种感觉，其实觉得蛮恐怖的。因为今天如果说这些技术、这些东西管控全部都在错误的人的手上呢，我觉得我们现在在美国现在正在就是演练这一个问题。感觉好像提早把这个问题先拿出来演练一下。All right.
All these drones we've been seeing in the past 2 years is reverse engineered alien technology. Only because if you look at certain patents, if you look at the triangular
TR-3B.
Yeah, the anti-gravitic propulsion triangular aircraft, right? So there's a few of them, which is crazy. If you look into these patents, right? So some of these patents, the trail goes cold.
Yes.
Think about this. Why do patents have to be established in the first place? Who do they go to? The Department of U.S. Commerce, right? Which is the government.
Right.
That means all your ideas have to have an apparatus, a working apparatus. That means it just can't be an idea. You send it literally to the government. Then, if it works, and they're like, okay, we could use this probably for military. You're gonna come work for us now. So then the patent goes cold, it gets abandoned, right? So check this out. So there is an engineer, a mechanical engineer by the name of John St. Clair from South Africa, migrates to America, graduates from Cornell University with a mechanical engineering degree, goes to Kodak to work for Kodak. Now, a lot of people who graduate from these prestigious universities with these degrees go to Boeing, Kodak, all those places, right? So he goes to Kodak, starts to file all these patents, one of them being the anti-gravitic propulsion system. It's a triangular one, right? Then he files another one to walk through walls. And he has a bunch of other wild patents right? They all go cold. It says abandoned. Then he mysteriously dies in 2021 and nobody's ever heard from him before that.
Okay, now look, bro. I interviewed a dude. He said somebody showed up in his living room out of nowhere, had on some weird clothes. He said it felt like it was a person, but he said he chalked it up to supernatural because he said they just showed up in his living room, like phased in, gave him some information, offered him to come leave with him, and he phased back out. I heard the same story from a former military veteran. He said they were in restricted waters. A person phased in to the captain's quarters of the ship, told him to get the fuck out of this area, and phased out.
They got this technology, y'all. Like, that's the thing. Like, why is it that Tuttle, which is an investment company, has a basket of reverse alien engineered technology and they're putting it on the stock exchange? They filed it with the SEC.
Yeah, look it up. Look it up.
So this is where we're at. So I think the government obviously has alien technology.
Sure.
Obviously, that we're going into something to where they're going to start to drip feed us and show us this technology, you know, bit by bit.
所以我们其实早就已经知道，这个都已经传闻了很久，只是现在就是政府内部的那一群正在操控的那个无影手，决定要慢慢的释放出来。All right.
Check this out. This company built an AI headset that lets you control your dreams. Imagine Inception, but in real life whenever you want. And they do this by activating lucid dreams. It's insane. In normal dreams, this part of your brain is turned off. It's called the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And that's where all your decision making happens. That's why in normal dreams, weird things happen to you that you just can't control because your control center is off. But in lucid dreams, things are completely different. In lucid dreams, you can control your behavior. You can think, act, build, invent, all in a world where there are no risks. Some of the best inventions in human history came from lucid dreams. Tesla, Einstein, even the idea for the periodic table came when the inventor was asleep. It's pretty powerful. Now this company, Prophetic, created a way to turn on lucid dreaming whenever you want. It's called the Halo, and it fires low intensity ultrasonic energy to activate that part of the brain, essentially waking you up while you're sleeping. Imagine being able to focus during a nap or trying to experiment with a dangerous solution in a world with no danger. Now these headsets are going to be available at the end of this year, and it will be wild to see how well they work.
感觉有点恐怖诶，因为那个电影里面 Inception 就是那些人他们都随身都要携带一些标记的信物，因为随时他们有可能就是卡在他们自己梦里面。那如果说这样子的话，万一这些人卡在自己梦，睡一睡变成植物人怎么办？会不会有可能决定待在我自己的梦里面，像 Inception 一样不想要出来了？我觉得是不是会有可能这样子的情况发生
？And whatever species have been piloting these crafts, how are they large? Are they multiple species? Are they like, what was their size and how many are usually on craft?
They're typically the multiple species people, if you really want to raise and Nordic. People were talking about reptilians in insect ways. It's not that they're reptilian or insect ways, it's that they resemble to the recipient of reptile or an insect type humanoid, because they have a head and 4 limbs and torso. So
large, small,
human size, human scale.
And are there how many are a crew?
Well, the Greys I'm familiar with from investigating the Frasher Corona, which is misnamed the Frasher Roswell. It's not the Frasher Roswell, it's the Frasher Corona in Mexico. Those were Greys, those were 4 foot tall. And the Nordics are typically human size, probably, I've heard 5-6 feet tall. And same with the people who mislabel reptilian and insectoid, they're roughly that top height too. I haven't heard anything about anything 7 or 8 feet or 9 feet tall. That nature.
所以这一段我觉得非常的有历史性。所以看到这一小段里面所有的这些人全部都是背景非常强的人，不管是就是众议院的，就不管是议员啊，还有我们看到这个坐在尾端这一个 RV lobe. All right.
Let's say you're walking down a crowded street and spot someone you briefly met at a party 3 years ago. Most of us would walk right past them without a second thought. But there's a small group of people who would not only recognize their face instantly, but could pick it out of a police lineup, identify it upside down in a grainy photograph, or spot it from an unusual angle in low lighting. These people are called super recognizers, and they make up only about 1 to 2% of the entire population. Super recognizers were first documented scientifically in 2009 by scientists at Harvard. They could remember faces with almost supernatural accuracy, even faces they'd only seen once decades before. Ever since, police departments have recruited these rare individuals. London's Metropolitan Police now has a team of over 200 super recognizers who have helped solve countless crimes by identifying suspects. But scientists are only just beginning to understand what's happening in super recognizers' brains. In 2024, there was this groundbreaking study that recorded brain activity from 16 super recognizers and 17 controls using EEG while they viewed various pictures of plants, animals, landscapes, and of course, faces. Not even 65 milliseconds after an image appeared on screen, so faster than the blink of an eye, super recognizers' brains were already responding differently from everyone else's. What piqued the researchers' interest was that this difference in brain activity showed up regardless of what they were looking at. It didn't matter if it was a face or a fern. The super recognizers' brains seemed to process all visual information differently. But it gets more interesting. Researchers at the University of New South Wales, Sydney, led by David White and James Dunn, wanted to understand exactly what super recognizers were doing with their eyes that made them so good. Using eye tracking technology, they discovered it's not quality, but quantity, aka not how much their eyes take in, but what their eyes focus on in a face. Essentially, super recognizers work smarter, not harder, and their abilities might extend beyond just vision. A 2021 study from the University of Greenwich found that super recognizers were also much better at identifying both familiar and unfamiliar voices, suggesting there might be something fundamental about how super recognizers process identity information across all their senses. The neurological mechanisms underlying their abilities are still being actively mapped. What we do know is that the super recognizer skill cannot be learned. So if you're hoping to be one, you can't. They appear to be born, not made. However, you can actually find out if you are a super recognizer. The same researchers at the University of New South Wales created this free online test called the UNSW Face Test, specifically designed to identify super recognizers. I definitely do not have it, but you might discover you've had a superpower all along. And if you do, let us know below.
看完这个之后，我就跑去试了一下，诶，没想到我是 super recognizer 哦。但是问题是，这个好像没什么好处。All right.
What is going on in Birmingham? That is Birmingham, UK. During a weird snowstorm, their whole sky turned pink. Literally, over the whole town, it turned pink. And they have no idea what caused it and why. It is interesting to note that this is the heaviest snow they've had in a really long time. Who knows? Maybe this was a citywide UFO encounter. Take a look, comment below. Tell me what you think.
Birmingham, UK. Birmingham, UK. 这么粉红，超粉红。让我 search 一下 Birmingham, UK。这么粉红哦，这么粉红，如果是什么 UFO 事件，早就上新闻了。看一下到底是什么事情。哦，诶，看起来是什么情况？Birmingham 的 Football Stadium 下雪的时候，把这个粉红色的 Stadium 的灯光反射到整个城市都是粉红色的天 ，Very cool. All right.
Here are some facts that are going to change the way you see things. This long name, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce, is a species of sponge that's found in the Antarctic Ocean and has an estimated lifespan of over 15,000 years.
Wow.
90% of the population lives in the northern hemisphere. The International Space Station is going to fall onto Earth in 2030. Fender Guitars did a survey in 2019 that told us that 90% of new guitar players give up within the first year, while the remaining 10% end up investing more than $10,000 on gear throughout their entire lifetime. As a joke highlighting the historic rivalry between Sweden and Denmark, the only IKEA products named in Danish are doormats and other items that you walk on. Blue raspberry flavor is actually usually created using flavor compounds from pineapples, bananas, cherries, and then they add blue coloring to distinguish it from cherry, strawberry, and watermelon.
蓝色是天然的吗？
Okay. 30% of adults and nearly half of all children grind their teeth in their sleep.
AI needs so much power that Google's looking beyond Earth to keep it running. Here's what's happening. As AI models get bigger, data centers are becoming insanely more expensive to keep running and keep it cool. That's why your electricity bill is so high. So companies like Google are exploring space-based data centers.
Outer space.
On Earth, data centers burn massive amounts of electricity and water just to not overheat. But in space, you have unlimited solar energy and natural cooling. And most importantly, zero competition for land and power grids. However, as you can imagine, launching hardware is insanely expensive and maintenance is a nightmare. And if something breaks, you can't exactly send an IT guy with a ladder. Now, what does this all mean for us in the future of AI? This tells us that AI is growing rapidly fast and that Earth's infrastructure might not be enough anymore. If this works, AI won't just live in servers or warehouses on Earth, it'll live in orbit, powering smarter models, global systems, and eventually real-time AI everywhere. This is the beginning of Skynet gone global.
I'm Skynet.
And this is how you know that we are entering a new era of AI.
我觉得这个的话是很有道理，因为在外太空的话就是完全的冷嘛，对不对？但是现在有一个很大的问题，就是我们的外太空的垃圾 space junks， 所以为什么伊隆马斯克要做那个就是收垃圾的，就是外太空收垃圾机？我们现在在地球表面上生活没什么感觉，但是其实我们这边低轨道卫星，地球外面应该是已经有一层乱七八糟的垃圾吧，所以可能直到这些卫星轨道都清一清，清的差不多之后，才能建这一种就是 sun catcher 吧，随便一个垃圾就把这些版面砸乱七八糟，那也是很难修复。
This is about to happen. What's about to happen? This is about to happen. I don't know if there's a protocol, but... What are you trying to do? Let's just improvise. What do you got in there? I got my cat Fob. He's the best. No way. He's been out all day. Can he say what's up to the stream real quick? Hey! Ooh. What are you trying to do? You're trying to sing? Yeah, let's vocalize. If you drive a beat, I'll create a melody. Yeah, let's do it. Feelings on your mind, oh baby, don't you know?
She switching positions. I know that she treating me different. Still got division. Oh, she like it. I just got reminded.
Shorty, yo, I'm 1,000 there. I can spend 1,000 over here. Out to her, I put the G in gear. Then I threw a little G in the air.
Money, I blow it like that. Spend it right out and I make it right back. That's how I ride. I gotta fly. I got that dope, yeah, that's what I provide.
Off the top, ain't nobody hot. We on the corner, right up on the block. 250 boys where I work.
Check it out, the suit and the shirt.
I've given it all my love and then you take it back. Don't you go.
那个猫快要跳出来了。Alright， 那今天的影片就先到这里啦。如果喜欢这些影片的话，不要忘记帮我订阅、按赞，非常感谢。那我们下次见 ，Have a good one， 拜拜。
We live in a moment, got me the seconds, you know I'm on it.
All my love and then you take it back. Don't you go. I don't wanna be in this place.
Bring it back on time and it goes. Yeah, wonder why the time moving slow. Only got one life, better do it right when we live in a moment. Got me the seconds, you know I'm on it.